All right, so a couple things I discovered. As I looked more closely at this drawing, I noticed that the back surface on the hook is also machined. It has one of those little check marks I was telling you about, this kind of shape right here. And that is an indicator that this thing's been machined. So I removed the fillets on this side as well. So the whole underside, you can see, is back to square edges. So if you could reverse that, that's great. By the way, a reversing technique that's kind of cool. If you set your fillet radius at 0, check this out. F, enter, R, enter, 0, enter. And you go to a filleted corner, you can just select the lines and boom, it makes it square. And then you can just delete the round part. So setting your fillet radius to 0 is a way to undo a mistake like that. And that was totally my fault. That was clearly labeled and I just didn't see it. However, I did notice a mistake on their part. So their math is off here on this value here, this 38 millimeter distance from the center to the top edge of the hook should be 37, because based on their other dimensions, that's what it would be. And the other dimensions I'm referring to are the 26 millimeter dimension from here to here, and the dimension that is from here to here, which shows this distance as a 12-inch radius. So that should be 24. And the only way to get that would be to bring this line in 1 millimeter. So I need to do that. I'm going to offset that guy. Oh, enter, 1, enter, and this line right here is coming in 1 millimeter, which will bring this to 37. And so let's zoom in on that. So that line I've offset over, and this guy I can just move over. So M, enter, and I can move that line and that arc too from there to there, there to there. Okay. And then just pull this back. Same with this dimension, pull that back. And this line right here, just kind of pull that back to there. Okay, so all is well. That would be 26. This is 24. 37. Let me zoom out there. So yeah, sorry about that, but that is what it really needs to be. So you can scratch out the 38 on your drawing and make it a 37. All right, let's pull these off here. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is make the bottom view, which is really an auxiliary view. I'm going to project it perpendicular to the hook. So it's the underside of this thing, so that's why I'm calling it the bottom, but it is not a traditional orthographic view, it is an auxiliary view. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out to do that. These lines coming off the bottom portion here, I'm going to trim those out right now. I'm going to trim these out too, because they're going to be in the way. So I'm going to get rid of those guys there, and then get rid of these guys here. I don't need any of this. TR, enter, just get rid of all that. And just delete this stuff. Okay. All right. So this line right here, I'm going to use to make the rest of this guy. I'm going to offset it just some kind of random distance to get started here, like let's say 50, just to kind of get the ball rolling. And I'll make that my center line. And you know, I take that back. I'll just make that my edge, get some more space here. And then, so from that surface over to the center of the hook is going to be 50. So O, enter 50. And then the 37, not 38. All right, so just to show you what those dimensions are, again, that was 50, and this is 37, not 38. All right. So the slot is basically here. There is a circle inside of it there. That is the inside radius. And then we have the outside radius here. We can trim those out now against this line. Just delete that. If you want to just do it like this, I suppose that's an easy way to do it. And this is going to head down as well as this. I'm going to delete these values now. And those are going to continue on downward when we do the bottom portion, which we'll get to in a minute. Let's finish up this top portion. We've got some fillets to do. So this one is 12. These are 12. And this one on the back side is 13. So let's do the 12s first. F, enter, R, enter, 12, enter. So those are all the 12-inch fillets, and then they're giving us this one as 13. So R, enter, 13, enter. There you go. Not sure why it's 1 millimeter larger, but whatever. Okay, so the hook portion is complete, and that is true size. So we are seeing this actual size. We could dimension that portion. The rest of this guy is going to be foreshortened, okay? So let's talk about that. How do we get this handle portion over here in the foreshortened view? Well, we got to keep using these angled lines and project them offward, because this is our line of sight. These angled lines, these 60-degree lines, are our line of sight. So I'm going to copy one of them and click it on everything that's important. That corner, every single edge, every single intersecting point here gets a click. There they are. And these construction lines I can extend down, or I could just draw new ones through them. Either way, it's probably easier to just draw new ones through them. So from here to here, from there to there. And I also need the center line going through this. So this distance across here is 50, so the middle will be a 25 offset. So there it is. There is its center line. I can make that a center line if that makes things a little more clear for you. There you go. These sides here I can extend downward or just draw them downward if whatever. Let's do that. I'm going to go to my object layer and pull this stuff down. And then the bend line is right here. This bend line or the corner is right there. From that, I've brought it across. And now I need to do the holes. So the holes are going to be on this center right here. There they are. And I need to mark their widths. So their widths are given to us, well, we're given their diameter. So their diameter is 16, so their radius would be 8. And I'm going to offset this line 8 in both directions. So there we go. And those lines, of course, are not center lines, so I will put them back on my construction layer. So that shows you the true width of the holes. It's the height of the holes going in this direction that is squished, okay? So the width is the true size, which is 16 across, but it's the top to bottom that's going to be foreshortened, as is obviously the case. It is longer over here than it is here. This is much shorter than that. Anyway, you're going to go to the ellipse tool. There it is. Click on the center point, and then do one edge and the other. So again, center point, one edge, the other. Make sure it's clicking on the right point. Might want to make sure your snaps are on correctly. It's weird. There we go. So that is what the holes would look like. The next thing you need to take care of is the radius on the bottom. So this is a full width radius. You can use the same center point as that bottom hole and then go to both edges. There you go, that one and this one. I can now turn off my construction lines and just trim this stuff away. Okay. Looking pretty good. That is it for the auxiliary view or bottom view object lines. There are still center lines and obviously dimensions to do, but there is another thing to do if you want to be technically correct, and we're going to do it for fun, and that is to show these holes their hidden lines. Because they are foreshortened, you do not see through them all the way like you would here. You're actually looking into part of the material here. And to show you what I'm talking about, and this is going to be kind of interesting, the top circle, its center is up here. Let me draw a construction line of a different color through the center line of the top circle. So I'm going to zoom in on this and show you what I'm talking about. I'll do it on the bottom one here. So here's the center line, and we knew that this line right here coming through the center line, the intersection of the center line and the bottom, that was the center line of the hole. But there's also a hole on the top side. There it is right there. And if you bring the center line from its intersection down, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to copy this one. And put it there. And make that one a different color just so it stands out. I'll pick a different layer here. Put that on, I'll put that on object. And then I'll zoom out so you can see what I'm talking about. So that line right there is the center line of the hole on top. So check this out. I'm going to zoom in on this piece now and show you what I'm doing here. So if I copy this ellipse that I made, CO enter, from its center point to this center point, you'll see that only some of the top view is see-through all the way. Only this portion in here is an object line, but this portion would be a hidden line. I know, it's pretty crazy. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. I'm going to copy both of these, and we've done this before. Copy both of them. Or, you know what? I wanted to try something else here. Oh, that doesn't work. Never mind. That's too much trouble. I'm going to copy both of them and just move them over here out of the way. And turn this one into a hidden line, because that's what it mostly is. And then trim away the portion inside. And then this one, I'm going to trim away this portion, and then use this portion here. So move it, M, enter, by its end over to here. So we did this on the last drawing, exact same thing. So that is a good way to, or one way, I don't know if it's a good way, but it's one way to change that ellipse from hidden to object lines as is necessary. I'm going to turn off the center line just so you can really see what's going on here, and the construction lines. So that is the bottom side, and as you look through the bottom side, you can see the wall of the hole, and then some of the opening in the back side showing through. What about the sides of the hole? So this is the last little tricky piece here. You would show the sides of the hole going from quadrant to quadrant. There it is. So that is a hole truly represented in the foreshortened view. That's what it really looks like. And then once you have the one done, you can just copy it to the others. And maybe you wouldn't have even bothered doing these two at all. And then you would have just copied these to the other. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Copy this portion right here, CO, enter, just all this, just grab it all and copy it from the original center point to the other. There it is. So there's your three holes represented in the foreshortened view. Is there anything else? You know, if this bend here hadn't been filleted, and it is filleted on the inside, we would represent that crease with a hidden line, which is there. But because it is filleted, I'll remind you, we did that tiny round. It is not truly an edge, so we're not gonna have that there. But it is shown on the back side because that is a true corner. Okay, I think that's gonna do it for this.